Welcome back to the Sports Den Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Hooker, and today's episode, we are recapping Week 13 college football. But we have a special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Justin Helms here. Been on the podcast back before the rebrand. I was on the podcast and everything, checking out what was up. He was on mine for a little bit too. We go way back to college. You already know who I'm repping today, but I'm gonna keep it chill. I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but I will mention my guys sometimes.
For sure, for sure. Welcome back, Justin. Now, let's go ahead and recap Week 13. So, what are your thoughts of Week 13, and what did you see from college football?
Um, I guess first off, I guess if you want me to go in points, first off, I guess I didn't really learn much. SEC had a complete basically bye week. Everyone was on a cupcake kind of week in the SEC. The only teams that taught me something is like we were talking about before the podcast is Oregon and USC. Oregon kind of taught me what I already knew, which is why I go back to I didn't learn anything. Like I already thought Oregon was going to beat USC. Lincoln Riley's been fake for a while. They haven't been able to figure it out, especially in the Big Ten that's already not as strong as it's been. It's really top heavy this year. So it's like it's not as strong as it's been. And then you got a guy like Lincoln Riley still struggling. I I predicted that they would lose this game, even though I don't think Oregon is as good as last year either. But I think that game did tell me that Oregon has their weaknesses, and that when it comes to the playoff, I guess maybe way too early prediction. I think Oregon's probably a first round team, and that's about it. But
Mm,
I don't think I learned too much from this weekend, honestly.
yeah, I'll say I can agree with you on that. I think that ever since Lincoln Riley came back to USC, we haven't seen him win the big one as of recent. I haven't seen him have a signature win of the season ever since Caleb Williams left. And I think that that's where I view the ceiling for Lincoln Riley is a great offensive coach because we saw USC has a lot of weapons on the outside with the wide receiver position, but then outside the offense, you have to worry about the other side of the football, and they haven't been able to articulate a decent enough defense to help out. So I think that Lincoln Riley, you're a great offensive minded coach, but when it comes to overall, I think that you're just not there. Oregon, Dante Moore continues to carry the load on this offense. Sadiq, the tight end, I really like him. I think he's tight end one of this draft class. But everything else, I'll say Georgia Tech, you disappointed me. I really wanted more hype going to this Georgia and Georgia Tech game, but losing to Pittsburgh really threw me off in a sense to where your defense has given up 520 yards in back-to-back weeks. So that will be accounted for, and that is why you're losing. So when I see this, I say to myself, if they want to compete against Georgia, and Georgia's trending in the right direction for so long, I think that I think I'll say way too early. I think Georgia will win by 10 plus.
Oh my God, way too early prediction.
Yeah, that's always early.
Oh, bro, let this man already trying to get off. But nah, I'll say Georgia Tech, they disappointed me. I guess that's the biggest thing. Like I really thought Georgia Tech, in my opinion, for the first 6 weeks of the season, they were the best ACC team, in my opinion. Florida State started off hot in that one game and then fell off. Miami started off not hot. Like they barely slid out of that Notre Dame game, and then they stumbled along the way, and it seemed like they had their mistakes and they had their issues. Georgia Tech came out absolutely running through everybody. So it's like they just disappointed me throughout the season, seeing them lose the way they do. And I guess it's more even disheartening because what is Georgia Tech's bread and butter? They're gonna run the ball. They're gonna run the ball a million times as much as they want to try to win and dominate the line of scrimmage. What is the main reason they lose? They can't stop the run. It's like, dude, how when y'all know that this works so well that y'all go on defense and choose not to, you know what I'm saying, defend that part of the game. Like, dude,
Yeah.
they run up 200 yards a game on you week after week after week. So yeah, Georgia Tech very much disappointed me. I give credit to Pitt. We'll talk more about them later against Miami, but I do give credit to Pitt. I don't think they're not a bad team. Like they've come up on some tough losses, but they were a good team.
All right, so now for college football contention for certain teams, whether that's the ACC, the Big Ten, or the SEC, what are your thoughts on the college football playoff contention for certain teams?
You already know. I already kind of hinted at this. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go in alphabetical order because I want to start with that ACC, man. The All Cup Conference. That conference is actually like truly, and I'm not going to go on my tangent about the committee yet, but truly the only reason that the ACC is even relevant still is because the committee is giving conference champions a free playoff pass. Like that is the only reason that anyone in the ACC should be making it. In my opinion, I'm not gonna lie. Like, and I'm telling you, dude, when you watch Miami Pitt this weekend, it will be obvious because Miami is their best team that they have, and they're still going to be struggling to Pitt. Like, I promise you, like that's gonna happen. So the ACC, I don't think that they should have any teams in it. If I'm
Mm,
being completely honest, like I don't think that they've a single team that they've had has earned the right. If I'm a fan of football in the state of Utah, I hate ESPN and I hate everything that has to do with that committee, man. Because BYU and Utah have been getting screwed up. We had the first ranked holy war of I don't know how many years, and they couldn't even put it on college game day because they put on some whatever ACC. I can't even remember who was on that day. It was terrible. Like, but yeah, if I'm those teams or if I'm Utah teams, man, and if I'm me, how I feel, dude, the ACC makes me so mad. They make me so mad. Like they're extremely fake. Like I don't think a single team should make it out of their conference. If I'm being honest, none of them have earned that right. Like I give Miami, they've had some close, tough losses. What with Notre
right.
Dame and Louisville? Like, of course, you lost to solid opponents. I give you that. But it's just there's too many holes in your team when I watch it. The eye test, you don't pass that against some of the teams that could be in that spot. When I go to the Big Ten, I'll say, like I said, super top heavy. Other than that, I don't have too much hatred for them, I guess, the way I do for ACC. They're really top heavy. Like you said, I do feel like some of these teams are not as real as what we think they are. We'll have to see what it comes to in this playoff in the Big Ten, i.e., Indiana, i.e., Oregon, some of those other teams like that. So I guess I feel like it's hard to say they're fake because those teams have come into the playoff or they've come into the postseason and they've proved it. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times I feel like we go into there's been so many years that I've gone in and said Ohio State hasn't played anybody and they feel fake. And then they come in and they win. So it's like, I can't really take that away from them.
Yeah.
So right now, I guess it's more of like a wait and see. I'm not quite sure. I'm really
Mhm.
interested to see what they're going to do this weekend against Michigan. Is Jeremiah Smith still out? I wasn't sure if he was going to be
No,
out.
bro, Ohio State, cause my friend, he's a Ohio State fan. He literally knows like through and through. He literally said they're just resting everybody so they can get ready for the team up north.
I was thinking they were doing that. I was thinking that. But yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I'm gonna be really interested to see what they do against Michigan this weekend. That
Mm.
defense, I'm not gonna say it's like a super test, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's not light work.
Yeah, for 100%. For me, your hatred for the ACC is my hatred for the Big Ten because for the past, let's say, ever since Michigan won that fraudulent championship, they have been saying the Big Ten is better than the SEC. And the thing is, the Big Ten has been so top heavy that y'all only reward yourselves for having Ohio State. After Ohio State, anybody else, bro, I promise you, we can say because who's the best team in the SEC to you? In the SEC, who's the best team?
In the SEC,
Yes.
A&M.
Okay.
Like you mean like ranking wise or like what I
No, no,
think is
no. And you're from your viewpoint on who you've been watching.
it's like A&M and Georgia are like right here to me. Like they're
Okay,
right.
cool.
Ole Miss is
But
like they're a step back, but that's just because what everything going on.
I let it be known. Tennessee can give Oregon some work.
Bro, I'm telling you what, Vandy and Missouri would give Oregon work. Like I'm telling you, like
Bro, if Missouri had a confident quarterback, Missouri will be in the playoff.
thank you. Thank you. Like that's a team right there. They run the ball. They play defense for real. Like,
And you're telling me, I'm sorry to do this. I said it earlier. If Indiana played Ole Miss today, Ole Miss is winning.
bro, it would be tough. It would be tough for Indiana, man. I'm not gonna lie. It would be
Like
tough.
we can say, oh, they play hard. Stop saying they play hard, because in the SEC it just means more.
Yeah.
So when I see that, I say, okay, look, I love what Indiana has done. They restored some culture that has never been found only in basketball, but now they found it in football, and I have to commend them for that.
Hmm.
Cool. But when it comes to football, and I say from top to bottom, who is the better conference? The SEC has been running college football since I've been born.
Hmm.
And the thing is, Alabama is having a down year. You put Alabama against Indiana, and you tell them you got 2 weeks to prepare. Alabama's beating Indiana. Not lying.
It would be tough. Yeah. It's
Then
hard for me to sit here and imagine that Indiana is winning against a lot of these teams. Honestly, I don't see them winning against A&M. I don't see them winning against Georgia. I don't see them winning against Bama.
Texas giving them fits.
Ole
I
Miss.
promise you that.
Texas will give them fits. I feel like it depends because Texas, like they show up halfway for some games, but I think a lot of these teams, like you said, like it would be really tough for Indiana if you drop Indiana or you drop Oregon or one of these ACC teams. That's all I was just talking about into the SEC. Oh my God, coaches would be getting fired.
I'm trying to tell people all the time.
It would not
No lie. If Florida had structure, I'm telling you guys now.
talent all throughout the roster, man. I'm talking about
The talent is there. It's all
yeah.
about structure and discipline. If they had those 2 things, we'll be talking about Florida in a whole different way. And you got to think, Mississippi State lost how many one-score games this season?
Dude, everything was close for Mississippi State. I felt so bad for them. Everything was
So
close.
it's like we're not gonna sit here and act like
Seven?
SC is bad record-wise. You
Yeah.
gotta watch to know, because Illinois, oh my goodness, they're losing to the first 8 teams in the SEC.
Yeah.
So it's like that's one of your ranked teams, and I can't respect that. So my opinion, I do not respect the Big Ten other than Ohio State and Oregon. Not
And
gonna lie.
and I want to wrap this all up by coming back to this. I think I will go on my committee tangent right now. This comes
Go ahead.
back to what is the committee doing? You sit here and you say conferences are created equal. You don't even believe that in your own ranking. Look at your ranking. Look how many SEC teams are at the top. Look how many Big Ten teams are at the top. What did I say in the Instagram group chat the other day? If it wasn't for them automatic giving playoff wins, playoff spots for conference champions, we would literally be looking at almost 5 to 7 SEC teams, and then whoever else can make it. So serious. Like it would not even be a thing. And you're giving the group of 5 schools that Tulane's not ranked. Like Tulane's like what, 24 if they are ranked? Like, and you're giving them a spot? These, like, I'm so tired of this sentiment of, oh, everyone deserves a chance because all conferences are created. No, they aren't. No, they aren't. The Pac-12 died because conferences aren't created equal. Because of that reason. Like, there's no way you can sit here and convince me that that's logical. In this, everything we just said about the Big Ten and the ACC, about how the Big Ten is so top heavy, and the ACC is not even top heavy. It's just fake. Like, it's not even real, dude. Like what? Big 12 is being saved by Texas Tech. I'm telling you, Big 12 is absolutely being saved by Texas Tech. BYU and Utah, I give you all your credit. Like I said, if you're a Utah football fan, I'd be pissed right now. I think they do deserve more of a chance, especially BYU. But yeah, it's just I just can't sit here and listen to the committee week after week. Every Tuesday, we sit here and listen to them reason through their mindless crap of why these teams are ranked and seeded the way they are, and it just, there's not a single thing that makes sense. There's no consistency. Bama can't run the ball. Well, if we're talking about who can run the ball, why is Notre Dame not one? Why is Georgia Tech not a top 5 team? Like, Like what? Like do we like truly don't think they watch games? They showed how they watch games. Them boys got champagne and wings in the back. I'm like, they drunk. They're not even watching the game. They're not even watching the game.
Oh my god.
Like this isn't me and you like your normal fan watching the game. Like this is dead your job. You got to make a decision on Tuesday that affects multiple other people's money and jobs. And y'all up here popping bottles, vibing in the room. Like, bro, what? Like you can't tell me you're making serious decisions. You cannot tell me you're making serious decisions. I promise they're not. So that's my problem with the biggest problem with it is no more. They did a good thing by taking away the automatic bye for winning your conference champion because that completely screwed up not only ranking, it screwed up seeding. That was the reason why what we got like Ohio State versus Tennessee in that first round or whatever last year. Like the seeding was messed up. The top team wasn't even playing the easiest playoff schedule. They had like the second to hardest playoff schedule because of how everything was falling into place.
All right.
But when you took away the automatic playoff bye, now what you've done, the conference champion means nothing. It means nothing. And they're trying their hardest to hold on to it by giving those teams an automatic spot if you win. If you're doing that and you're giving those teams an automatic spot, but oh, at the end of the day, the loser of the SEC championship is the loser of the championship, they're not going to get penalized. But then the winner gets an automatic. Like it's just there's so illogical. There's so much like nonsensical thinking to this. Like you can't reward one side and then tell the other side that this doesn't matter. And I hate it because Bama's going to be there. And if we lose on Saturday, that's a third loss. And they could take us out. You know what I'm saying? But they say at the end of the day, these championships, like does it matter or does it not? Like, that's my problem. Does it matter or does it not? Because you have completely ruined it. It's simply a trap game. Unless you are in a nobody conference like ACC or the Big 12, going to the championship is a trap game. If you lose, the committee can take you out, especially if you're a team that comes in with one loss already or two losses. If you lose, the committee has every right to take you out. You just hit 3 losses on the season in a game that most other teams were competing and they couldn't even make it to.
Right.
Now they're going to kick you out of this for that. Versus with if you win, now it's whatever. Like you won and you get an automatic spot, and it's like it doesn't make sense to me, bro. I hate it.
Nah, but I mean, you're correct. I ain't gonna lie. Like, you're right. I just think that it's just certain things that the committee does and try to reward things that won't matter in the future. Like if you win your conference championship, you're off for a month and a half. So
That's
it's like,
that's
so it's
terrible.
like you're basically going through another fall camp before your first week. So I can agree. But now, let's talk about some Heisman. For right now, who are some players in the Heisman race that you think can have a chance at winning?
Um, I guess it would be really hard for anything to change majorly in this last week. I just feel like we've already gotten to this point in the season. If I'm being honest, and I feel like a lot of people feel this way, no one's really wowed you to the point where it's like, yeah, he's the Heisman. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't look at anyone and it's just like, yeah, like there's no way that this guy doesn't win it. I will say, well, I guess I'll take that back. I do look at Fernando Mendoza and I'll say there's no way that he doesn't win it. But I don't feel it's because he went out and just was head and shoulders above the rest. If you look at his stats and you look at his numbers and you watch him play, I don't think he's that much better than guys like Julian Sayin, Ty Simpson. I don't think he's that much better than some of the other top quarterbacks, if I'm being honest. I think he's just around in that same category. I think if, like you said, if you put him against tougher competition, I don't know if he would have had that great of a season. If you threw him in the SEC, I don't know if he would be up there for that Heisman talks. So this year, it really feels like like it was just basically we were just whittling away at everyone until we ended up with somebody. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it was more like we were finding reasons to take people away rather than finding reasons to give the Heisman to someone. Because like I said, no one was wowing anybody. So at the end of the day, I think it's Mendoza's to lose just because of where he was at. I think Ty Simpson was in that spot until he started fumbling and having those picks in the last few weeks. I think he was. It looked like he was like consensus number one for up until like week 6 or 7. It felt like him and Mendoza were up there. Um, Guys who
Man,
are slept on, Jeremiah Love. Like if they hadn't lost that, like we talked about it before, like if they hadn't lost that A&M game or that Miami game, I think he would be number one. He's had the most, I guess, Heisman wow moments out of anybody. Who else is on that list?
yeah,
So that's what I feel at the end of the day. Jeremiah Love should have it, but I think it's going to be Mendoza's to lose.
okay, yeah. Like I can agree with you on the Todd Simpson because I'll debate Todd Simpson truther. I said it's Todd Simpson's Heisman's to lose, and I think his play has descended ever since I say them fourth quarter comebacks.
Yeah.
I think he hasn't been as sharp as he was, and I think that I feel like he will come back around. But for right now, it I think it's Julian Sayans to lose because I think this weekend, if he performs well against Michigan, say he throws for let's say 250 and 3 touchdowns, let's just say that, and no interceptions, they're gonna push him above Mendoza
I
because
can see
because
that.
because I think
Bigger game
Heisman is a recency bias moment.
for sure.
So if he plays well in a recent game and he goes to the Big Ten championship and he say him versus Mendoza, we're all gonna say this. This is the Heisman game. Whoever performs well and whoever wins the game will win Heisman.
I yeah, the Big Ten championship.
Yes.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I do think that Julian Sayin has much more of an opportunity to impress the voters this weekend than Mendoza has. Just simply, you're playing Michigan. It's a bigger game, more high profile. You're playing a better defense. And it could be one of those games that turns into somewhat of a quarterback competition of Bryce versus Sayin. So when you line all those things up and then you let Sayin look as good as he probably will this weekend, I can agree with that. He could have a very good chance to. I don't know if he'll pass Mendoza, but I think he can go into that Big Ten championship, like you said, at least tied with him.
Right. That's the thing. But you hit it on the nail with Jeremiah Love. Like, Jeremiah Love, my friend told me this. I got a text. I got a text. He said Jeremiah Love is arguably the best running back prospect he's seen in a while. And I said, would you take him over Ashton Genty? He said, not gonna lie. He said the versatility Love brings more is more appealing to him than what Ashton Genty did on the ground. I said, okay, I can agree with you on that. But then I said, then as time went on, after he sent that text, I seen Jeremiah Love spin move to the crib.
Yeah, he's crazy.
So it's like, hey man, Jeremiah Love, we understand that this is a quarterback award, but the Heisman is supposed to go to the most valuable player. And to
Mm.
be honest, you are the most valuable player in college football because you are the engine to this team. This Notre Dame team doesn't go far without you. And I think that he has been playing to a level to where the NFL they're gonna take a running back in the first round again, and he's gonna be the main reason. He might go top 15.
Yeah, I'll say he will be like, there's always like, I feel like there's like every like 2 3 years there's like one running back where it's like this guy actually can go first round, like, you know what I'm saying? Like last year we had, well, actually this year we might get two in a row. I'll say this time because we had Ashton Genty went out first round last year. I'll say, or at least high in the first round. But
Right.
like Jeremiah Love, like you said, he has that ability. He has, I don't know if he's as good as Ashton Genty, just base, but I will say he has way more of a home run hitting ability. Like his explosiveness is insane. Like when he touches the ball, it's scary every time because if you give him that space, like he can be absolutely gone. Like he's past
100%.
and it's done. So
Yes.
that's what's super scary about him, and why, in my opinion, he's had more Heisman moments because he's had he had a 98-yard run this season, if I remember right. Like, dude,
Well, he
like
did.
that's what I'm saying. Like he's had way
Yeah.
more explosive Heisman moments than any other person on this list, and I think
Mhm.
that would show more if they didn't lose in those important big games. Like I said, like I really think that Notre Dame and Miami game are the only reason he is not up there right now.
Yeah. I'll say that Jeremiah Love, his game breaker ability is so appealing and so fun to watch as a fan because we all know in previous years, like I say the 2011 to 2016, 17, running backs had game breaker ability. Then that has died down due to the fact that people are wanting to pass more and they don't have enough show. They don't have enough time to show out their abilities.
Yeah.
It isn't schemed that way no more. But now Notre Dame schemes themselves to Jeremiah Love. You're going to have the ball 20 plus times. Go make plays happen.
Very interested to see what that team looks like with Love gone next year. I do think CJ Carr is pretty good. I'm pretty sure he's top 10 in the Heisman voting as well right now. Good quarterback, young guy, but like you said, that team doesn't go without Jeremiah, so it's hard for me to not say he should have it, but I agree with you. It's going to come down to that Big Ten champion. And I will say this about one more guy. I knew that Dante Moore was fake. They were pushing him so season.
Whoa.
They were pushing him so hard in the beginning of the season. I'm not gonna say he's fake overall. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's not fake, bro. He's not
Is he a
fake.
bad quarterback prospect for the NFL? No. But I knew he wasn't. I didn't see him as a Heisman guy, man. I wasn't seeing that, bro. Like,
Bro
but
said he's fake.
one more, maybe. But I don't. To me, he has his mistakes. Like, there's a lot of times when he goes out there and you can tell he has his issues.
Okay, but another guy I'd say that's on the list, Marcel Reed. The only issue I have with Marcel Reed is his turnovers. If he does not turn the ball over as much as he did, he could be number one on this list. Because that South Carolina game was evident of Marcel Reed in a nutshell. He'll turn the ball over,
Oh my
and then
god.
he'll make one or two dumb throws. You're like, why? And then second half, we seen, oh my goodness, what a throw, what a read. Oh my gosh, you can extend plays and you can make plays happen with your legs. So that's Marcel Reed in a nutshell. I think if he doesn't turn the ball over as much, I think we can get things done for Marcel Reed to be pushed more towards in the Heisman conversation. But I think his turnovers and A&M not having as many blocks as they should have hurts them. But at the end of the day, A&M has been winning games. Marcel Reed has done enough for A&M to punch their ticket to the college football playoff. I think that he'd rather have a hoisting up a trophy saying they won a national championship rather than him holding up an individual award saying he won the Heisman.
I think that SEC championship means a ton to them. They're going to go into that game playing hard.
100%. Now, for the last topic, what is the theme for rivalry week this weekend?
My theme, and I told Jonathan my theme earlier too, is like, don't hold your breath. And I guess, is there a part of a Bama fan in me trying to be hopeful, I guess, that I'm saying don't hold your breath? Maybe. But I'll say this. I say don't hold your breath because I don't think anything's going to happen. I'm not going to lie. I think that we'll have a lot of close games this weekend. Ohio State might have a close game against Michigan. Georgia and Georgia Tech might be a close game. Bama and Auburn, A&M and in Texas. Like, all these games might be close, but I think the winner will be who we expected the winner to be in a lot of these games because they know that this is the final weekend to show that you have to prove it to the committee. The only teams that I feel like are, I guess, I quote unquote at risk would be A&M in Texas. To me, that would be the most at risk because Texas has everything to play for. You have 3 losses, but just based off how the committee has sat you and ranked you, who knows? If you go in and win that game and you do it convincingly, I have no clue. They might slide you into one of those bottom spots, possibly, depending on how the rest of this weekend plays out and how the championships play out. I feel like Texas is a team that has that chance. So I'll say they could possibly do something, but in a general sense, I feel like it's going to be a lot of what we expect to happen. The teams that are on top and that are favored are going to win, and I think that's what it's going to be. So don't hold your breath.
My theme is proceed with caution. I think there are a lot of teams that are playing with nothing to lose. And I think that right there is going to be a recipe of, okay, we're going to see trick plays. We're going to see them going for it on fourth down. We're going to see them do everything in their power to make sure they ruin someone's season. And I think that is the theme to where you have to proceed with caution. Make sure you're not playing just to win, but you're playing to dominate. I think that if you're so-called an elite team, this week you have to play to dominate your opponent. Because if not, 1, 2 plays can change the trajectory of the game and can go in favor of the team that is playing with nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my theme, and that wraps up this episode. You guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
It was